All right, guys, this is Jared, Triple D Farms today. So we're going to talk a little bit. We got a little bit of rake stuff going on. This is my Toe Nutty rake. This is a Raptor 10, I think they call it. I've had this rake since 2008. It's been a pretty good wheel rake. We've had a little bit of trouble here and there with it. But it's been pretty good for the most part. We've broke it a few times. Had a little trouble with some springs and things like that. So it's 17 years old. This is our 17th season with it. To begin with, it's a little bit cheaper than other rakes. Back when this came out, the New Holland that was the same as it, same size, width as it, was probably like $4,000 or $5,000 more. I think I paid like $7,800 for this rake on sale from a dealer, 3 miles from my house. But the New Holland, obviously some of the things on the New Holland are the same, very similar, and some of them are different. The major difference is the tongue. You can see the tongue comes out the middle, comes out on the bottom, which is a little annoying. And the tongue actually was the first thing that broke. It broke right up here at front. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it broke right up at the front the very first day that I used the rake. It was not very well made at all on the front, the tongue issue. So they took it back to the dealer right down the bottom of the road here, and they took it and had it professionally welded, all new plating, everything, and we've never had any trouble with the tongue since. First got the rake, it was 6 wheels on a side, and then it had a center kicker wheel kit that actually went right in the middle. It actually went right in here. And I had trouble with that one time, and I fixed it one time. It works on a cable. It has a pulley here, and it goes through, and it works on a cable, and it pulls on the cable, and basically the wheels, it just tips them up out of the way when you fold it up. And I had trouble with it, and I fixed it once, and then the second time around, I was like, I'm done with it. It worked great the first, I don't know, however many years we had it, and then we started having trouble with it, and it had like turnbuckles and things. The turnbuckle kept coming undone, so when I fixed it the second time, I went to Tractor Supply and I bought cable and the clamps and everything, and I bought different turnbuckles, and I actually welded the turnbuckle, got the turnbuckles set where I wanted them, actually welded them so they would not loosen up or anything like that. And I forget what happened that made me not fix it the second time, but I think the wheels got real bad because one of them they were hitting on the cable or something that broke some teeth or whatever. I can't remember exactly. So I took that out. And then we had it with 6 on a side, and then one of the sides, I forget which one of the side wheels got all mangled. And so then actually had pieces that went right on here to make it longer, and pieces stuck out that much more. And I just took them off and took those wheels off. And the only other thing is, you can see right here, I don't know if you can see over here, but there's a crack right here in this inner frame, which is part of your hooks to your tongue, which is the folding. And it's been welded there before, so it's cracked there right now. Got a guy that's got a portable welder. He's going to come. We're going to try to put it back together, and he's going to weld that. It also has broken. You can see, I don't know if you can see on this side, but it's black right here. That side has been welded as well. Other than that, it's lost a few bolts and things like that here and there. Last year, I broke some bolts right here. There's a bunch of bolts, and it broke those, and the wheel actually kicked out. It almost fell off. It was only on there by like 2 bolts, I think. And in the process of doing that, it messed up this cylinder. So it's a single action cylinder. Supposedly you can make all cylinders do that by plug in the one hole or whatever. Basically the fluid goes back in the tractor, I guess is how it works. So one way it puts the fluid in the cylinder, the other way it drains it back to the tractor. I guess that's how it works. So the cylinder will go up, but it won't go down. So I'm not sure if it's possible to get it fixed and it will work, or just replace the cylinder. So I'm going to probably take it off and try to, my neighbor's a little more handier than I am. Maybe he can get it to work better. Or what I thought about doing maybe is switching so it uses the other fitting instead of that one, and that might work. I'm not sure if it's like what's wrong in there, but I do have other cylinders. The problem is, do I have other cylinders that have the plugs to make it so it works like that? I'm not sure, right? I know I don't have a cylinder that size, right? That I do know. I have two possible cylinders I could use. I have one on the grain drill and one on something else I was looking at the other day. Could possibly use them, but basically you just got to get the fluid to release out of there. So I don't know what's in there that makes them do that. And then this one here, for this wheel here, it's got some teeth that got bent the other day. The spring broke, and I thought I had some extras, so I have extra pieces because I've had the wheels from the center wheel kit and then these two wheels, and I needed two springs. This spring here was messed up, so I replaced that with one, and I'm missing a wheel somewhere. Like somewhere there's another wheel that I have that possibly has another spring, but I can't find it. So I'm not sure if we scrapped it or what, but I ordered a spring. I actually got someplace online. I found one. They had one spring at one place online, and it's similar. I'm not sure if it's quite, looks like it's very close to being what we need. I guess it is. It's exactly the same. So hopefully, it's going to be a job and I have to get that on. So then this side over here, this wheel was off. The bearing went right here. Okay. So the other day it was making a little clicking noise. And this is the hub. And so this goes on like this. This bearing in here, the inner inside bearing. I'm not sure if there's a race in there too or not, but that went bad. So I took that off. And then I went out to where I had the center wheel kit out there, and I took off this whole thing from that. And this one, I actually took them both off. This one looks a little bit better. This one actually turns. And the inside one, it's a different kind of bearing. So when you put with your finger, it turns, but it doesn't turn as easy. It's a different kind of bearing. So I'm just going to put this one on there, and then put this wheel back on. And the other thing about this thing, this whole rake is, everything's metric. But I did get an 1 16" socket to fit. And today, I remember my gloves. I bought these gloves a while ago actually bought them for messing around with diesel fuel, because I get tired of smelling like diesel fuel all the time when you have a tractor that won't start, or the evaporator won't start and you got to prime it, and you got to keep filling up the filter to prime it. And today I thought, well, I got them. So I went down there, I bought a whole box of them. It's great. I don't mind getting my hands dirty, but this had a lot of grease in here when I took it apart the other day. It was not because it wasn't greased. I might have to change that Zerk there before I'm all done. Anyway, we're going to slap that back on there. So the other day I was watching, I watch other people's videos. Oh, the other day, I guess it was a post on Facebook. Nate Bissell there, he posted, take your camera with you and post that, about how much money, YouTube is. And so I'm just going to try to, I try to do more everyday stuff. And, it's been raining like crazy. The other day I was out doing some hay, And I was gonna video mowing, and then I was like, whatever, it's the first day, I'm not gonna bother. And then I actually was in a video the first day round baling, like, it looks like it might rain, not gonna bother. So I've taken a couple chances where I didn't do it. I absolutely love this 1/2 inch. I actually have two of these. I have this one, and then I have the one what they call it, the Atomic, where it's shorter. And I carry the Atomic one in the tractor of the disc bind. That's the one I use to change out hubs. So we're gonna see if we got, I don't know if the grease gun has been in here, and this is my side-by-side, which is full of stuff. Grease gun has been in here but has not been used. So I'm just gonna, I don't know if it has any grease in it much or what. It's a good bath. It's sitting around getting dusty. Well, I guess it needs more. I guess it needs grease. So that didn't work. So we'll just put the cap back on and we'll grease it. Grease it later. Might have to change the Zerk, but that's a pretty easy fix there. So we're gonna put the wheel on, and then I'm gonna see if I have a better wheel for there. I think there's one wheel down at the beef barn that I could change that wheel to, and then that would be done deal. So now I got to find my bolts here. I'm thinking about buying, they make a toolbox for this, or a storage box. I'm thinking about buying that and then making it so I can have, like, it's plastic obviously, but make it so it has like racks and hangers and stuff for stuff. So then I'm not using it. You could, if it doesn't weigh more than 300 pounds, plus it would keep the water off your tools and stuff, I could just pick it up and take it out, you know, if it wasn't like, oh, there's the other bolts there. So these are off the other one, I guess. You know, if it didn't weigh like a ridiculous amount, I could just pick the whole thing up and take it out. It's just me. You know, it's just me. My kids are too small to help me. I don't have enough land to, you know. I'd like to have another side-by-side that was dedicated to, in the summertime, to be in the tool side-by-side, but I think if I got that toolbox, I've looked at it a couple times and just never bit the bullet, but I think this might be the year I might do that, and just to have it so my tools are a little bit handy. Probably could have put that. Probably should have put that on there beforehand, but I guess not. One hole's almost lined up. You know, I'm a farmer and a teacher. I could do things mechanically. You know, I can fix things. I could take things apart. I'm probably better at it than most people would think that I am. And I will do more things than most people think that I would attempt to do. Just because, a lot of it's because of time. I don't want to, I want it fixed now. So like a couple big jobs. I wish I had a video of working on the disc bind. I had a spline go out of the disc bind, and I was mowing hay, and I didn't know what happened to it. I just knew it wasn't working, so I started taking it apart by myself, and ended up being a spline went out between the, spline went out between the first and second turtles, and I didn't know that when I started taking it apart. I had no idea. And I just started working on it by myself. And I think I got it all apart. I mean, it was up here in the field, and oh man, what a job it was. It took me about the whole day to get it apart. Forget what time it was when I started the project, but it was one of them deals. I wanted to get it apart and get parts before the store closed. And I did. I called over there and he said, yep, we got them. And I went over and got the parts, or sent somebody for the parts. And then the next day I spent the next day putting it back together, and I had to get my wife Rachel, had to have her help me do something with because I took the whole cutter bar out and dropped it right down, and I had to have her help me. Had a jack, and I had to have her help me put the bolt back in that held the cutter bar up. Other than that, she helped me for, just a couple minutes. Other than that, I did the whole thing by myself. And because I have it, it needed to be one bolt, needed to be torqued, and some of the bolts were torqued so much that I took a great big pipe and put a pipe on a 3/4 inch ratchet to get them broke loose, and did the same thing to put them back together. And I think it was a lot of, I can't remember how many. When my dad went to pick up the part, the guy said, oh, that's got to be torqued. He said, I hope he eats his Wheaties. That's had to be torqued so much. And why are the last two not lining up? Must be just a little lopsided. Quite get. Must be lost one. Must be I lost. Well, maybe there was one missing. Either I lost one. Maybe there. Oh, just look real quick. No big deal. Got all the other ones from the other two. I remember. It's one of them things. If I remember later, I'll run the magnet over at this little spot. Maybe it's there. Kind of weird that one out of the bunch would fall off the rake and the rest wouldn't. But anyway, so get this on there, and then I'll go see if I can get that other wheel. I was kind of thinking about ordering a couple wheels. Every year I think about getting another rake, but every year I talk myself out of it. I priced them a couple times. I think 10 wheel is, I'm looking at New Hollands. One was just over $10,000 and the other one's just over $13,000 without, and of course what it says, without the hydraulic angling or whatever, where I guess you get, I don't know how you set it, but you get them set and then that's your width. And with that hydraulic, this one opens up and closes hydraulic, and it's pretty nice. I mean, you can get close to stuff if you have to that way, or you can, if you get a weird shaped field, you can get back out of the middle without making a mess. Of course, this one doesn't pick up the same. Those New Hollands, they pick up, like big arms like that, so they get right out of the way. New Holland has an advantage that you can rake with one down and one up. That's kind of nice if you just need to roll stuff over. what, $10,000 is a lot of money, and the other ones are 13 and 15,000. And then their big one, they call it the Duravi. That's a big version of this, or a heavy duty version of this. They start at like 18,000, I think. So I don't know, this one here is like, you can get the wheels fairly cheap. But the only thing I don't like about it is that they don't, you can see that's pretty much as high as the wheel goes over there. Actually, that one's higher. They don't really go all that high when they're up. So if you can't fold them and get them out of the way of the hay, it's hard. It can be hard to sneak. It can be hard to sneak out of the middle of a field. Like if you had like a funny shaped field, or you missed a pass or something like that, and but one of the things I like about this rake, and I'm sure all V rakes are that way, is what you can do is you can do what I call, you can build a windrow. So say like this field, it's more narrow down there, and it's wider up here, and it's kind of got like a little bit of like what you call a dog leg. Well, when you mow it, you have to follow the outside, right? And what I always do is, and everybody mows different, I don't really care. So I probably burn a little bit more fuel, because I will mow around the outside 6 times, and then I will start going back and forth around the outside, down this side, back this side, down that side. And then I'll do that a little bit. Then I'll cut the field, and I'll go around 6 times, and then I'll cut the field in 2. Right up the middle. So you'd say vertically or long ways or whatever. And then I'll go down the middle, back up, down the middle, back up. And I do 2, so I get the field in 2 sections. And my goal is to get the longest, straightest windrows possible when I mow. So that when I'm baling, I have the longest, straightest windrows possible, and you're not doing all kinds of weaving with the baler, whether you're round baling or square baling. It makes it easier for me to bale, somebody else to bale, whatever. But if you get one like this, if you want to, with your big rake, you can open it up and you can straighten them out, and you can continue one windrow into another. So I would actually probably end up with real long ones where you normally wouldn't, because you can build them. It might not be as thick as the rest of them or whatever, but you just rake down one way, and then you turn around, come right back, and take the hay over the other way, and you can build windrows. So you can straighten them out. Like same thing around the trees down there. There's 2 clumps of trees. We have to mow around them with a mower, but you can go down along the side with the rake and straighten it right out. And then if you want to, you can turn around, come back, and hit it again. You can actually move it out away from the trees, so you don't have to drive the tractor real close to the trees. So that's kind of pretty cool. And obviously the bigger the rake, the more you can do that. So really, I'm just leaning towards fixing this one. I think, I think I priced the wheels are like $50-$60 a wheel. So you got $600 in wheels. And if I could find more springs, which I don't know. I found that one spring on, I don't even know, I've never bought anything from that company before. I did a search and it came up. And then the other thing is these pipes here on the side, this one, they both have been bent and straightened, but I'd like to replace them. There's just 3/4 inch pipe. It might be, I don't know, maybe it's what they would call 3/4 inch heavy wall. And then, it'll be fine to go, I think. Get that welded. I think we had it welded 10 years ago. So, that's really you can see where this one's actually not quite straight. But, if you got to weld it every 10 years, I don't see that being a problem. Now what you could do is, you know, if you had somebody that, this is just square or rectangle tubing, if you knew more about it, I mean, you could probably, in the winter time, right, you could probably take that right off of there and have a whole new piece put on there. But just gonna change out the other wheel, see if I can get that spring on. I'm not going to video putting that spring on because I know it's not going to be easy, and I will probably be swearing up a storm because it's going to make me mad. But get that on there, see if we can change that wheel. Well, that's going to make it a video for today. Love my hands are clean so far. That's great. Love the gloves. Just going to try to do a little bit more videos. I don't know if we're going to do another video today or not. I have I'm going to change this cap with this one. Maybe. I have stuff to do. I do. Today. We have a couple things going on. I got the disc hooked up. I don't know if you can see the tractor over there. I got the 110C over there hooked up to the disc. I did that plowing there. Did the plowing video that one day, and then I actually went back a couple days later and plowed and finished that field. And well, it turned out really nice. Real happy with that. And then I plowed a field over here, a sunflower field. So last year I tried to plant sunflowers over there, and because Rachel always wanted me to plant sunflowers, and I never did it. So I planted them last year over there in that field, and the deer just annihilated them. Sunflowers got up about that tall, and the deer just annihilated them. Well, I never sprayed the field, and so basically what I think happened was a deer came in there for the grass. You know, it's fresh new grass that grew up from the sod that got plowed and disked. And the deer came up there eating the grass, and then they saw the sunflowers, and they probably tried them, and they were nice young leaves, and they probably liked them, I guess. And from what I could tell, they ate every last one of them. So we're going to try it again. You know, why not, right? That's kind of just, why not? So anyway, we might do a little video of discing. I do have an elevator, so my hay elevator broke on me the other day. I got the square baler out, got the elevator hooked, got the elevator in place, and we actually did a little bit of square baling up here. And I was like, oh, I don't think there's even 2 loads. So it's hot. Like, we're gonna square bale it. Had kids around to help unload, and ended up that it started sprinkling before I got done baling. I think I did 40 or 50 bales. So we went down, we're like, I'm just going to unload them in the barn. We'll leave them close to the door. We'll haul them out, feed them to the horses. You know, we're not going to worry about stacking them in the barn because I don't know how much wet they are really, you know. Go down and use the elevator, plug it in, mess around with it, trying to turn the chain, plug it in. So the motor's bad on the elevator. My dad took it down to a place down Horseheads, and they said, oh, we might be out yesterday, Wednesday, that it didn't work. And they said, oh, we might be able to work on it later today or first thing tomorrow. And they called last night and said it was done. So he went down to pick it up. So I have to put that in before we do hay. It's supposed to rain today. I'm not sure whether it's a big storm or not. Might rain a little bit tomorrow. Then today's Friday the 27th. And then Sunday is supposed to be really nice, and Monday is supposed to be like 92 and sunny. So we're looking to do, Monday would be a good day to do square bales because we have help from horse camp. And maybe I can get somebody to jump in the round baler. And I'd really like to do both at the same time, but we'll see. So anyway, that's going to make this one a video. A little bit of rake talk, a little bit of farm talk, a little bit of everything. Just kind of more trying to video a little bit more everyday what I go through kind of thing. I will say this: I took my kids, so I have 3 kids. We posted a video yesterday or last night about the pitching machine. I have 3 kids. Lainey is 10, Letty is 8, and Judd is 6. And I am a widower. You know, Rachel's been gone like 16 months. And, you know, how do I come out and work on a rake with three kids that are at home saying, Dad, you know? So I took them up to my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law lives in Ulysses, which is like 40-minute drive. She has a daycare, but she has today off. And I said, hey, will you take the kids? And she said, sure. So I took them up there. She has a pool. I don't know if they're going to get to swim or not, but probably. She has a pool. She has a heater. And I'm hoping to get a little bit of work done and go back and get them. Well, I have to go back and get Lainey. She won't stay the night. And I don't know if the other two, hopefully the other 2 are going to stay the night. Is this good for them? Lainey has softball practice, which I am like the assistant coach. So she has an all-star softball. So with the pitching machine, that was the first time for the kids to be on a video of mine. And I don't know, I think it's just like the time is right. Like, you know, I make farming videos, but there's more to the farm than just me. You know, myself and my 3 kids, you know, we struggle daily, right? Every morning when we get up, Mama's not there. All day long, little things come up all day, every day that, you know, Mama would do that. Mama would do this. Mama would take them here. Mama would, you know, brush the girls' hair, pick out their clothes, help them get dressed, make them breakfast, whatever, all day, every day. And that's the life that we live, you know. So I watched a video about a guy that lost his wife and a couple kids. And he, you know, he's trying to help other people. I saw another story about a woman who lost her husband, and she has 3 kids. They're all, maybe there's 4 kids. They're older, teenagers, and one's in college or whatever at the time that he died. He actually died after Rachel. But she was a influencer before he died, so she's kind of changed her angle a little bit. So you know what? You're probably going to see the kids more here and there. We're probably going to change the intro. Probably going to see some more kid stuff. But, you know, I'm going to share some things. I've got some ideas about sharing things about the house that, you know, that I've been trying to do to make things better for me. We're very fortunate that we have both sets of grandparents. Both my mom and dad are here. They actually, you know, their house is hooked to our house. They're older, but they do their best with my kids. And my in-laws live 40 minutes away, and they do the best with my kids. And, you know, it takes a village. Well, it does. Because, you know, and the hard, real truth that nobody wants to talk about is once the viewing and funeral are over, people don't come around. And probably your, I don't know what you call it, the ones that last longer, last a few months. And a friend of mine, she's a widow, and she said it, and she was exactly right. It happened exactly how she said. She said, oh yeah, they'll forget about you. Like, you'll have so many people who forget about you within a week or two, and another group it'll be a month or two, and another group it'll be 6 or 8 months, and a year from now you're on your own. And that's pretty much where we are now. It's like my parents, my in-laws, and you know, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and us. And it's tough, but that's the way it is. The world does not stop for everybody else just because my world stopped, right? Anyway, that's enough about that. We're going to call it a video. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more from Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, and Triple D Cabins. Have a great day.